With the holidays just around the corner, you might be looking to treat yourself with some upgrades to your studio. So today I thought it could be fun giving you a peek into what my own studio could look like heading into 2023. Now keep in mind that our workflows might be different, our studio needs might be different, so you obviously don't have to use exactly what I'm using. But you could see something that will spark some ideas for your own setup. So don't forget that if you do see something that you like, I left links for everything in the description down below. And before we get started, if you're a composer trying to learn how to write for genres like fantasy and action and suspense, then I want to give you my Film Composer's recipe book. It's a free PDF download that teaches the 4 basic ingredients of music and how they work together in different genres for film and television. So I also left a link for that in the description down below. Okay, so the heart of my studio has gotten an incredible update this past year, and that's thanks to my new Mac Studio. In the past, I've used an 8-year-old iMac that was great and it treated me well. I started my own compositional journey on that iMac, but I pushed it to its limits daily, so I knew that its time was coming to an end. With my Mac Studio, I not only had to think about my music writing, but I also had YouTube and editing to consider as well. I decided to go with the M1 Max chip model as opposed to the Ultra, which was just a bit out of reach for me. But with this new computer, my workflow speed has increased significantly. Next up is my MIDI keyboard, the Nectar Impact LX88 Plus. I've had this MIDI keyboard for maybe 6 or 7 years now, and I still find it to be the perfect, relatively low budget option for any composer looking for an 88 key controller. Now, of course, the dream would be the Complete Control S88 from Native Instruments, but there's really nothing wrong with my Nectar Impact, so until then, I'm incredibly happy with the value I've gotten from it over the years. The keys are semi-weighted. It comes with 8 faders, a master track fader, 8 customizable knobs, and 8 drum pads as well. It gets the job done and is still one of my favorite pieces of gear in my studio. Another upgrade that I made this year was with my headphones, the DT990 Pros. These were a much needed addition because my old headphones, though they sounded great, were closed back, so that led to a lot of low-end buildup. So I had a difficult time wearing them for too long before my ears started hurting. These, on the other hand, are open back headphones, which allow me to use them for longer periods of time. Open versus closed back headphones is a whole other topic of conversation, but just know that there are pros and cons to both. So if you're in need of a new pair of open back headphones, I can't recommend the 990 Pros enough. So a few years ago, I actually upgraded from a hand-me-down audio interface to the SSL 2 Plus from Solid State Logic. Audio interfaces are like a central hub connection for your headphones, your microphone, your speakers, and any recordable instrument. The SSL 2 Plus is also a USB interface, so it connects directly into my Mac. I love this one because it's professional enough for high-quality use, but it's also small and compact enough for a little studio like this. And just keep in mind that there is also the regular SSL2 if you're not interested in the higher tier model. One of my newest studio additions is the Elgato Stream Deck. I ended up getting the first model because it was a lot cheaper than a lot of the newer models out there. Plus, I really got it for one purpose regarding my YouTube videos, so I wasn't really sure how I wanted to use it for music at the time of purchase. I'm still very new to the Stream Deck, so I know that I can do so much more with it. But in terms of like Logic Pro hotkeys and recording videos through OBS, it has completely shifted my workflow. Plus, it was incredibly easy to set up, so I don't think I can go back to a time without it. Next up is my microphone, the Shure MV7. I really like this mic because it has this darker, smooth sound that's great for like podcasts or streaming. It works with both USB and XLR cables and is plugged directly into my SSL 2 Plus audio interface. The MV7 is what I use for all of these videos and even like Zoom meetings. So I don't know how useful it might be if you are just a composer and you're not really speaking with anybody, or if you're really not creating like visual content. But if you need a microphone, then I suggest looking into this one. Another favorite addition to my studio this year is the LG Ergo Ultrafine display. After doing endless research, I found this monitor to be the perfect option at a reasonable price that fit my budget. It acts as my second monitor, and obviously I turned it vertically. This kind of view really lets me stack windows and apps on top of one another. And if I kept it horizontal, I think it would just be way too wide. So instead, I have my camera to the right, my main monitor in front of me, and this second monitor to my left. And finally, I love educating myself and reading, so I wanted to share some of my favorite books that I have in the studio. I've actually talked about 3 of these before, but the first one is how to build a sustainable music career and collect all revenue streams. This is really going to be that perfect quick read. I think I got this done in like 2 days. All you need to know about the music business is a classic and a very practical look into the music industry. The third book that we have talked about in the past is How to Make It in the New Music Business. This is just a relaxed and easy to read reference book. And then a friend of mine, Spencer Bambrick, actually co-wrote this book, The Game Audio Strategy Guide. This is basically an all-in-one course for game music and sound design. And the last book here is called How to Get Paid for What You Know. It's not about music, but more about how you can make a living off of doing something that you love. Now, of course, there's what's fundamentally necessary for your studio, like your computer or what type of MIDI controller you use. And then there's what's nice to have or something that makes your workflow just a bit easier. And that could be something like a second side monitor or the Elgato Stream Deck. So if there is anything here that stuck out to you, then you can always check out the links down in the description. And don't forget to pick up your free copy of the Film Composer's Recipe Book. That is linked down below as well. I'll see you over in the next video, and as always, happy composing.